Galway we want to go to.
Galway was nice. Donegal was amazing.
I heard about that. We
The
stopped
short
by
staff.
Skelly.
Joe's been
We just saw Skelly Gather with Star Wars and stuff and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
We had a nice little lunch and
It might have, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's we were going through. We went up the
Things are
West Coast,
changing quickly.
and there were a couple of
You know,
like
this
the
is Rich's last day.
okay.
You know, so yeah, things are.
No,
I came to the trustees meeting,
And then there was this one
and
place we just
and
went to,
somebody.
and it was the Iron Islands.
Okay.
But, you know what it looks like without all the stuff on it.
A person in the audience said something to the effect of
I
everything.
was in shorts every day.
Oh, no, we went at the end of August.
Okay, all right, let's continue with the rest of the work session. So we've got,
31 Maroke. 31 Maroke. This was another Joseph project. I will navigate you through as best I can, but this is a tree removal, a tree clearing permit that they're asking for. I don't think they're asking for grading on this. There was, my understanding, the applicant requested to have 7 trees removed. But on a field inspection that Joe took, and he took pictures there was over 20 trees removed. 20 stumps, he counted at least 20 of them, 20 plus.
okay,
So it looks like the whole, from the pictures you can see on here, like the whole front of the property is included. If you look at the street view, this is the street view,
wow,
and it's completely vegetated.
yeah,
And now it's
Oh,
completely open.
well, yeah, couple of trees went down there, huh?
Yeah, I think those were the pictures I was thinking of when we were
Right.
talking about the other project.
Project. So, like with the other project,
Yeah.
I'd like to get an understanding of how much was removed total, if they exceeded the limits,
Yep.
and understanding of how they're gonna revegetate what they took down. So I could put a memo out to the applicant on that.
Yep.
Doesn't look like there's any grading issues here, they're not regrading, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's flat.
relatively
Pretty
flat.
The trees behind the fence, is that on this person's property or is that the neighbor's property?
We're gonna determine that, we don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
Yeah, from the front, we were not able to see.
So did they get, so tree clearing and grading was in-house for a while. And so is it still in-house, and the reason why this is before us is because they took more than 7 trees down?
Correct.
I'm just making sure.
The way the code is set up, tree clearing grading permits are within the jurisdiction of the planning board.
No,
But
I
the code also
understand.
says
Yeah.
that you're allowed to punt it to staff to handle, which is
Which
how it's
is-
been handled.
right.
So that's what we've been doing. But
The staff
when,
fumbled
when
it.
it's a big one, then we send it to you guys.
Got it.
Yeah, we want you to be with, this
That's
is
why I'm
7
trying to
trees,
figure out.
I wouldn't bring it in
Just
front.
making sure that
Yeah.
they didn't just do it, they actually said, hey, they went through the right channels, said they were taking down 7 trees,
And then
and
they-
then it
Yeah.
looks like they took more down.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
really what it's about.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember if they were prosecuted in court on this one, which we often do when someone goes far. But so in
Okay.
this case here, if I were to bring someone to court, then what I would do is say, go to the planning board, get them to put a revegetation plan in place and do what you have to do. So we're in essentially the same situation, where
Okay.
you're gonna tell them
Yeah.
what this should look like.
And this resolution is not.
No, I
That's-
just, I don't, it's premature.
Yeah.
We're getting it ready to go, but,
Okay.
upon further review, I just following the rules and regulations, you know, it looks like to me it's a lot in the pictures.
Are
So-
these the original homeowners or are these new people that came in or?
I don't remember do we have the name of the applicant?
And was the note, like, did a neighbor call and complain, or was it a regular, like, hey, you're done with your,
I think this is just
tree
the
clearing,
process
so then-
of us going
okay.
out and saying, oh my
I
gosh.
think it's new, and they have a deed here that's dated July 2023, signed.
So, good chance.
A good chance it's a new neighbor.
Isn't new neighbors, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, about the other
Here's a better-
property,
it's
99
kinda a
Pine
little
Hill,
better.
the gentleman did show up
Okay.
while you were in the
Oh,
middle
that
of
was
the
the
hearing.
man
The
that
gentleman in the
came in?
back.
Okay.
Yeah, so I spoke to him, and Tom and I explained to him what you said, that you want to get
Okay.
more about
I told him we'd issue him a
protecting
memo.
the site, and knowing which trees are coming in, what's gonna go, what's gonna come, and he was perfectly fine, and he was happy to hear it. And
Okay.
He was glad you liked the plan, so he's gonna do whatever
Good.
Tom says to do.
No, that's-
so.
And you talked about the runoff fencing, the silk fencing and.
Yeah,
Yes.
erosion control,
Okay.
yes,
Erosion
yeah.
control.
I'm gonna put it all into a memo, I'm gonna send it out to him. It's,
Yeah, he's
a follow-up,
He's
put
been
it in writing.
completely compliant, he understands everything we do, and not everybody does, but if he does, I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
It's like the halal food guy.
Yeah, he was super
great.
nice.
Yeah, have you eaten there yet?
No.
No?
I-
Oh, they're
I
open?
have.
He's
Oh,
been open
yes.
for a while now.
Oh.
They
Can't
put
miss him,
out,
he's got far too many signs right now, but
Oh,
I'm
no.
giving him a
Okay.
little break until he gets
So-
Yeah.
up and running.
He had a promotion where you showed up between 1 and
Thanks,
2
Ms. Bush.
p.m.
Oh.
and you got a free meal.
Wow.
And the
Oh,
line.
I saw a
Oh,
line
yeah?
one day, I think I
Good
drove
Lord.
by that
I was
thing.
on the line.
Were you?
Yeah?
Yes, a lot of people. And what was more amazing were the people in cars going by going, what the heck is going on?
I think
You know,
that
It was a
was
great,
me.
great
Yeah.
marketing,
It
yeah.
was.
The
Great
first week he was
marketing.
open, I went there and I got lunch for everybody in the office, so we
Oh,
could all
nice.
taste it out, and they were like, oh my God, it's you, it's free. I'm like, it's not free. Give it to me.
Not
I'm
free.
good."
Yeah, it was substantial. My only complaint is that he chopped the meat too small.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it ends up almost like a little too saucy, because it always gets,
Oh, I
Yeah.
like saucy things. Okay, so back to this, you're
No,
no
throw that
to
out.
this.
No.
So what are we
I'm gonna be
actually-
issuing a memo to the applicant to provide us a clearing plan, limits clearing plan with a calculation,
So-
and a revegetation plan.
Meaning, when you say that, I just wanna make sure, so limits, so you want them to show you what they took down?
Correct.
Okay. And then, so,
And on top of that, we'd like to see a revegetation plan.
okay. Okay. And then a revegetation, yeah, cause I saw that my only comment on this was gonna be like, we have to tell them what kind of trees to plant, you know?
But
But if they're gonna give us a
they should
revegetation-
really give it to us. We shouldn't be,
Yes, 100%,
Yeah.
yes.
spending their money for them. Right. Couple Japanese maples and
It's not, yeah, it's not the kind of place where you're gonna try to put like decorative trees, it's the woods there.
Yeah,
I'm surprised this tree was left.
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah,
I mean,
more
die.
trees,
look at all the
yeah.
vines that are in there.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
too big?
Just not that.
too much, you
So,
know, vines and
but
stuff
That's a
on it.
Did you
big
hear,
diameter
like, have you heard back from the homeowner after they now are at this phase?
I gotta speak to Joe.
Cause I'm just curious if, let's say you have a tree guy come to your house, right, and they start taking trees down, and then the guy comes and he's like, this tree is dead, or this tree is diseased, and then needs to be, like, obviously, they went beyond that, but is there a buffer for somebody?
Well, the
They say
village-
7, but then it turns out when they get an arborist or they get somebody to come out.
Well, they should
and
have
then
that done
yeah.
up front.
Okay.
And that's really, you know, the preparation of the
Right.
removal plan, we'll call it.
Okay.
This is not
And the clearing.
It's not a unique type of violation.
Okay.
People, either they do it without a permit, or they get a permit, then they go
And
beyond
then
the
they go
permit.
beyond, okay.
That's
Well,
why,
you know, a lot of villages don't require it, some of the other ones I work with and everyone has different regulations. These, you really have to identify a tree that's 9 inches in caliber, 3 feet above. Anything else, you really don't need that for under a permit, correct?
yeah, it's considered not a
It's
tree.
considered not a tree. So,
Okay.
you know, it's a significant tree that gets removed.
But also, if you have a dead or dying tree on your property,
You can take it
you,
down.
you can
Right.
take it down.
Yeah.
You can
That's what I was
maintain
trying
it.
to
Yeah,
allude to.
But when you
But-
come in for 7 trees there, and there were also 23 dead trees, it's
Well,
kind
that's-
of hard to
that's-
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just,
And if you
just
looked
playing
at
devil's advocate
the
over here.
street view
just-
picture, those trees didn't look unhealthy. They were lush.
you will,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
And there were a fair amount, if you look at
Yeah.
the Google Maps.
That's where we got the image from. Yeah.
Yeah, that's, you see, there were a lot of trees around it. And that white fence appears to surround the pool,
Right in the back.
so, yeah.
Yep.
but our revegetation, like, I don't think our code is meant to restrict people from clearing out some trees from their property and planting what they want to plant. Right, are we gonna require them to like hide their house from the
No,
front?
No.
They're
But there-
clear-
You know what I mean?
There are clearing
You're
limits
good.
within the code, so there's
Yeah.
a certain percentage of the property you're allowed to clear. Anything
Okay.
beyond that, you have to revegetate.
Right,
So
Okay.
then we're just following the letter of the code.
okay.
Okay, yeah, good. Okay, the next one is our favorite project,
I cringe.
Which one's this?
Of, Perilla.
415, 417 East Main.
Yeah, we had a meeting with them
The
last week.
elevator doesn't go all the way to the top.
At this time, they resubmitted. We haven't had a chance to review the resubmission.
But they're off to the zoning board.
But they want to go in front of the zoning board
I don't-
concurrently.
I don't understand.
That was their request. So they have two.
And do we honor that? Do we have to honor that?
There
It's,
were-
it's for the project that they want to do, they need,
Zoning board?
yeah, it's
Okay.
too small,
But
you
can
need
I
to
just-
minimum
a lot of
square
areas.
footage.
Can I
No,
just
it's
say,
really two and they're big.
Oh, the two big ones.
what they
Okay.
want to do doesn't seem actually feasible. And my concern is generally when we start sending things out to other agencies, well, then they go, well, but the zoning board said that I got my variance, or, right?
Yeah, legitimizes
Right, thank you,
exactly
right.
what-
And to
yeah.
me, this project has so many issues, I don't,
Do we know if the plan's been updated?
So the plans were, we looked at them briefly when we sat down with them, and it's gonna be, it's getting to the point where it's getting a little contentious, because they spent a lot of money on, the other architect, I forget her name,
it was contentious.
Heather.
Yeah.
Heather Brin.
Heather
Yeah.
Bren.
Yeah.
Which is at no fault to anybody
Mhm.
here, but she put together, and she's sticking by, that this doesn't need to be ADA compliant.
Yes, I know.
And
And-
I'm sorry,
and-
is that what they're going to the zoning board for?
No.
No, no,
Okay,
this
so-
is for
They,
the,
so everyone here understands ADA is federal law.
Okay.
It goes above state code, village code, state code. It's universal law.
So what are they asking the zoning board?
They're asking for so by adding on the stair, they don't get the exemption of keeping it within the confines of the existing building, which relieves some of the zoning criteria. So in this case here, a standalone mixed use and apartment complex needs to be on a 40,000 square foot site, and roughly 6,000 square feet are combined. That's a big one. And the FAR, I gotta be honest, if you go over FAR, to me,
This
it's,
Yeah, I think
and
we,
isn't the unit size
And I questioned that with them again, and said, you know, I said, we're not overstepping our bounds, I told them. Though it's handled more at a building department level with those square footages and whatnot. You know, you have the benefit of a trained architect, you know, I'm not bragging, but I see flaws in it, okay? And
Yeah.
I let them know that. As well as, but, you know, it wasn't a really well put together application by the architect. I didn't wanna tell them the architect wasn't doing it right.
But, I mean, I just,
Well,
I hesitate
look,
to,
At this point, they're sticking to their guns. They want to go forward with this plan where they're going to need this variance for the area.
Okay.
So and look, tried to convince them a number of times, they want to stick with us. In order to make that plan go, they need to have a variance initially. If they get the variance, well, then it'll come back here and you still have
You still
everything
have-
else to
you
look
still
at,
have all the other
including
things to look
ADA
at.
compliance, the size of the rooms, the access,
okay.
everything else.
I just
If-
hesitate
in
to
the letter that
legitimize
we-
it.
If they don't get, it would only legitimize it from the variance perspective. You're still looking at it and you have your entire plan to go through for a site plan.
Yeah.
You're not forced in any way by a ZBA decision to allow everything else.
And the letter transmitting, or this request, wouldn't have to state that in any way we are approving of the project, or at this point, you know, you could put some kind of,
Language in
Well,
there.
we just did that with the Deerfield Court. That retaining wall is going to the ZBA first before you're even looking at it. And you're still gonna look at it just as if it's a regular site plan.
But that was the one during emergency.
Yes, well, forgetting
Oh,
about
yeah,
that
we-
part of it, but it's planning what's going right to ZBA before you look at it. You're still looking at it from the very beginning.
I think if you so we need a letter, right? So I think if
Yeah.
the letter gets drafted up and it's really detailed, I think we all should look at it and then,
Yes.
same thing,
Yeah.
circulate it
Oh, I got it.
electronically and all.
Actually,
You do it already?
I did.
Wow.
Damn, it's good.
Cindy- I think Cindy
Yeah, I
put
You
know,
did it
we
while you were up
would, we
here.
would like to see
Talking
any,
even.
I think Cindy put it in the folders.
you know, any
What?
letter to ZBA, I'd love to be able to see them.
No, we have oh, that's the wrong one.
These folders are terrific, thank you.
yeah, these are great,
Yeah.
absolutely.
No, it's just a summary.
It's just what you said, Cindy. She printed them, she said, they're gonna love these.
So I took all the other
Oh,
stuff that we
oh,
were
okay,
reviewing.
you got it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Dan.
So I cited the section of the code all the way down to what is required, and that's the 40,000 square feet. And the existing, they have two lots, one is 1963 and the other is 3926, combined about 58, just under 6,000 square feet. And then the FAR, they haven't provided the calculation, but upon what we were looking at, looks to be around a 2.2, 2.3 range. So we'd ask them to put that together as part of the notice when we put the variance out to have that understood.
Do you have a copy?
Yeah,
No, I'm
right here.
missing that copy.
Oh, here it is, okay.
You have one, Barbara?
I don't. I probably do, but I probably buried it.
Ready for the thing.
This isn't the letter, this is just your,
Well, I will put it into a
Oh,
letter
okay,
format,
yeah.
but I just wanted to I wanted to cite the specific sections of the code.
And you're gonna include this blurb at the bottom?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But before the notice goes out, from the zoning board, I want to have the calculation of the FAR validated by the architect or by the applicant.
Okay.
I want to have the exact figure there.
Okay, that's fine. And I guess cut and paste that into a letter and.
Yeah.
We'll see it and we'll do this to circulate by
Yeah,
email.
Yeah.
and-
just so we can see it, yeah.
Although
Oh, happy day.
I mean, I think it's,
Laura's got me
I like the
thinking
idea
now.
of having the apartments down there.
You got me thinking.
It's gotta be
you know,
done
whenever
to
we
meet
bring
the
something
code,
to Sarah,
right?
let's send to
I
the
think it-
ZBA.
yeah,
We'll
it's a
always
great
say, "All right, so let's
location."
Send it to
Oh,
the
yeah,
ZBA,
you know,
but
Yeah.
that's why I'm going to the code saying, well, do you have to send it to the ZBA? You're the ones making the choice to send it. So I just want to check the code here
I
and see
know,
what
I
it
feel
says
like we should
about
have
it.
the review better. Because to me, it's not at the stage where,
ready.
I mean, frankly, I'm almost considering the zoning board, why take their time on something that,
That's what you got me thinking about here. Sought or required. When a variance is sought or required.
I think this case here, it's being sought, right?
Yeah, you can. I don't
so would you
think
say they
it's-
have an undersized lot? Is that how you would,
Yes.
okay.
Are those numbers right? 'Cause it's,
And
That's what they gave me.
remember that
I mean, we can look
their-
into it.
So
That
every
was what was on the
time-
engineering drawings.
Yes,
okay.
but every time
Yeah.
we've talked to them, their whole proposal is that these are unused office buildings and they need to be used for something, and somehow office buildings are just a dead use. And they, anyway, that even though there's WeWorks popping up everywhere, but, their whole point is that it needs to be used for something, and since this is a good you know, like, they're going to come up with a reason that undersized is okay. That it's an existing building and you're hampering owners of these
Yeah, but that's-
buildings by not allowing them any leeway.
But that's not for
and
this
blah,
board
blah,
to
Well,
decide.
that's
for the
exactly what the
ZBA.
criteria that the ZBA applies looks at.
Okay.
I'm looking at this more, someone, if the building inspector denies something, then the applicant can send a letter to the ZBA and they gotta look at it. So I think it's just, we happen to be here, it has to go to ZBA, let them make their call on it,
Okay,
okay? I
I
followed.
yeah,
I am going to be looking at, or Joe, one of us is going to be looking at the resubmission that they sent in. 'Cause I know we had a pretty lengthy list of items that needed to be addressed, so.
oh, but, and drainage?
Well, they did address the drainage, you know,
Really?
yes, they did.
Yeah.
And
Parking with the adjacent lot, the whole dispute with the adjacent
And
owner.
loading and
the-
unloading?
yeah, yeah,
But
I
wasn't
mean,
it
it's,
just
The
it's,
garbage, that's right.
everything,
Loading.
it's all part of it, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, yes.
So not just ADA, I mean, there's like.
Oh, no, there's a
list.
list of items on there.
So the existing lots are 6,000 square feet?
This is what they had on the engineering
And
drawings.
they have to be 40? Is it?
Well, that's the code says standalone, and that's, by putting the addition on this building
Yeah,
in the C1 zone,
yeah.
it now has to conform to that. If they were to do it
So
within
this
the
is-
existing
this is
confines,
substantial variance
this
there.
is substantial, yes.
I mean, I can't speak for the zoning board. If I were the zoning board, I'd be like, are you kidding?
You know, I made the
but let them-
recommendation
yeah,
to,
that's fine.
if they don't
Yeah.
put the addition on, which is for this stair, reconfigure
They're going
some of the
forward-
interior.
They're going forward with this though, because they've crunched the numbers, this is what they need to do.
Yeah,
Okay,
well, yeah, like
No,
any,
no, WeWork
like
would
any
be so
developer,
awesome.
yeah.
you know, office isn't dead,
No?
it's not dead, people people need a you know, like, those whole, have you heard of these WeWorks?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a great idea, and what a great place for it, downtown, I mean, that'd be perfect.
Common space, shared space, shared
Yes.
conference rooms.
Yes,
I
and
was
then
in,
you have
I was in
all of the
Portland a couple
restaurant.
months ago, right in front of their Capitol, there's
Yep.
some wicked large WeWork.
Yeah, and then you have
Yeah.
access
Oh,
to
yeah.
all the
Yeah.
restaurants downtown, and.
Yeah.
And I
mean, it's a
don't
great
necessarily
spot.
have a problem with the housing,
No.
And
it's just,
I think it's a
Yeah,
good
right.
use, I mean,
Yeah.
I get it, you know,
Yeah,
it's
right.
nice to have that down there, but
yeah.
right,
unfortunately, you know, when you look at the code, it's pretty specific on
right,
various.
Yeah.
I always say quite this, though you want it, doesn't mean you're always gonna get it,
right.
all right? You can do it within realistic terms, and that's what they have to determine. And you know, unfortunately, you dealt the cards you dealt with the existing configuration of the buildings, different floor heights, you know, that's nobody's hardship but what they're looking to propose to do.
Okay,
Okay,
all right.
Next.
so you're gonna
Okay.
create a letter, send it to everyone.
Yes.
Talk
Okay.
to your friend like that, Pine Hill.
Got a little bit of work to do.
Oakwood Road.
Yeah, I hope Joe's ready.
Now, let me get the folder, this one.
This one was interesting.
Yeah.
Cindy, what was that, email that went out today about the changing the siding on the building? Which project was that?
Oh, that's for the ferry building.
Oh, the ferry building.
Yeah,
Changing
so
the-
I had
Did I
said,
get that email?
so it was an email that came in from them yesterday, and they want to change the sign. They're using James Hardy plank board siding
Yeah.
on it. And the Architectural Review Committee had looked at it previously, and they came up with the sea mist color, I
Mhm.
forgot what it's called. They want to use a slightly darker shade of James Hardy on it. So it came to us, and
Yeah.
I said, well, to make them go through the whole process,
Yeah.
the ARC made the recommendation, it was in their recommendation
Yes.
about the color.
Right.
And you adopted, there was no reference in the planning board resolution for the color itself.
Yeah.
So I said, well, do we need to go through the whole planning board process, or we can see it as an administrative change? If it was going to plum crazy purple maybe, then I might worry about it, but it's just,
Yeah.
it's just a different
It's a slight,
change.
it's a slight change.
So if you guys are all right with it, we'll tell,
Yeah.
I'll let the
And
building
that was
inspector
Andrew.
handle it.
Andrew said he'd look at it for the ARC quickly, just to review it and get his comments. And he'll get back, he'll probably have it tomorrow.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
That was a good decision. I mean, if we're just going a little deeper in the color.
yeah, it'll give more contrast.
Wasn't like the
again.
yellow on the tri-tech building. Who picked that?
Well, it wasn't me.
I mean, I mean,
Some
that's why
people
from-
have their corporate colors, you gotta understand.
That's true. I was trying to
No,
be
we
annoying,
picked it.
I was being the,
No,
annoying- you know, I'm up in the
Somebody
middle,
I
I'm
know
thinking
picked
about it,
yellow.
when annoying lawyer
The
folks say,
colorblind
well,
guy picked yellow.
all right, where do you draw the line?
Crap.
You know, when does it have to come back for the planning board to
Right.
decide if it's really a site plan amendment?
So it's a vacant piece of
Yeah,
property,
so
it's
the
actually
color
on the
spectrum chart, the
it's
rainbow.
next door to
Right.
216.
Spectrum
Okay,
shouldn't it
I
say
just
what
wanna
the
look
color
on
should be on?
Oakwood.
Yeah, if you take a
Well,
look.
my feeling is, you know, unless it's plum, you know,
Yeah.
that, it's their
Well,
choice.
I thought, it was the ARC that said that, they looked at the, and even in the report, and you know, they do their impressive reports, they really commented upon, like almost like an Elaine Bendis type of explanation. You know, the C municipal council purposes. So they put some work into it, so I don't
Oh,
want
thank
to forget about what they said.
Believe me,
so
I use that
at
all-
least
all
let's see
day
what they have
long.
to say, and if
Yeah.
it's nothing, if they think it's
Zero Oakwood.
administrative, it's administrative.
I think it's good you're on it about.
It's a vacant lot. Does not have an address yet?
Oh, is that where the zero came from?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just trying to see
Yeah.
where on Oakwood.
It's right next to where the,
It's further down.
remember where the recharge basin failed up off of
Yes.
Homestead?
Oh, it's down,
That-
so
where
it's
that comes
down
on there?
closer.
It's up on the hill,
It's a hell of a lot.
right.
I think it was right around here was the recharge rate.
It's right at the bend, before you get to the Riviera.
The Lookout Ridge. Yeah, I think
or
it's
that-
right,
Yeah, whatever that one is.
right here. I'm just trying to see where the recharge basin was. So here's the Riviera Road.
Right,
Here's
go down-
Pilgrim.
Go down here.
Oh, the
Cindy,
other.
do you have the
way?
application on your
Okay, no,
computer?
I'm sorry.
'Cause
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
think
seeing
this
it in
is
here.
so-
Oh, this right
Yeah,
here?
that's the recharge basin via.
Oh, there it is.
Yep, there it is. It
Okay.
came through this whole where here.
This here. So then,
Where is this lot then?
Gonna be right on the side of it, so.
oh geez,
So
like
like
here?
this, yeah, so if you look at the.
Oh, hold
bend,
on, hold on.
That's the area that washed out.
Look up 416 Oakwood.
416.
Really? Kevin's sleeping. Kevin,
Okay.
hey man, what's up?
It's right next to this
So,
vacant
okay.
piece of property right there.
Can
Yeah.
you hook
Yeah.
her screen up to that screen?
I got it, Cindy.
And the.
I got it,
Oh,
I got it.
never mind.
I got it.
Yeah,
No, go to
so.
sleep, sorry.
Oop, jeez, that's not what I wanted to do. So here's Old Homestead.
Mhm.
This
Okay.
was
That was the recharge basin.
No, we're
Yeah.
okay.
That, do
Yeah.
you remember when it
Thanks,
like
Cindy.
overflowed and it crashed through all of this and it
Vaguely.
Yeah.
flooded all down here?
That was a year and a half ago or so.
Right.
Yeah,
So as you can see, there's significant topography on the
It's
site.
happened a few times, but then the one big one was a couple of years ago, and they started repairing it, and then it washed
Yeah.
out again.
yeah.
Took out the top layer of road down
Mhm.
further towards Bristol Brook.
Yeah, I mean, it goes from about 110 to 40 feet.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
Yikes.
The whole side of the recharge.
Yeah, I
basin
mean,
was
think
up.
of Winston, right? Winston is just,
Yeah.
so that's the difference in height between Oakwood and Old Homestead, right? Yeah.
Winston tastes good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a cigarette should.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could probably sing the Schaefer jingle.
No, no, no.
Okay,
All right, so this is a
I'm just
new
thinking of
house,
Indian crying
right?
now.
New house, new pool.
Yeah, they're not applying for the house and pool yet.
Right,
But
but
they,
that doesn't come to us, does it?
no, because there's
Right.
no variances required for all
Okay.
that.
So
They're
it's
looking to
just-
put in the retaining walls
Retaining walls. Okay.
and though not listed within their application, I looked at this yesterday, obviously, they gotta do clearing, so this goes back into what the other applications do. We need to get an understanding of what they're clearing,
Oh, jeez,
the
yeah.
limits of it.
Yeah.
And there's significant on here. This, without a doubt, needs an erosion control plan,
Yeah.
with everything that's going on.
He's got a creek for it to run into.
What's that?
He's got a creek for it to run into.
Into,
if it
yeah,
works
yeah.
out right.
So, I mean, it looks like there's gonna be significant land clearing with the walls and the placements of these.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to make sure he stays within the limits.
Correct.
Well,
Or
Or
revegetate.
yeah,
And we can understand that revegetation.
because I'm assuming that a lot of this will be disturbed. So I'm assuming they're gonna go past, especially on this slope, I think it's only 25%.
Clear?
Yeah, on a slope like this,
Oh,
think
they're
you're right,
very
yeah.
limited. They're more limited than like a flat.
oh,
piece of
this-
property.
they're in trouble here.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't think our
I-
plan was real, we don't have any.
I don't think it has
steep
a
slope
steep- we don't- there's no
yeah,
requirements.
steep
we
slope.
did.
I think we do.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I know we have it within the zone, what zone it's in, there's, there's percentages.
Am I crazy?
No,
Because I
I
totally
I
remember.
remember the
on,
village talking about it for a long, long time. Now, whether
I
they
remember-
implemented it or not, might,
No, I thought it was.
I 100% thought there was a limit for
Up off
steeper.
of sheep pasture. What
I
street
looked
is
up
that
steep
that
slope
comes-
site on this.
Yeah, well,
There's nothing in here.
sometimes
We-
I
it's
just
along
make
critical
things
slope.
up now.
We
I was
leave
pretty
behind.
sure,
Gets better.
but
the dead end street off of Sheep Pasture,
Yeah, I think it was dead end. I gotta look.
Midland?
So there's nothing in our tree clearing
Mhm.
grading. This is the site clearing
it was like
percentages.
it was
Yeah,
like
it's
a,
based upon, well, not
yeah.
zone, but by lot size.
oh, no.
Yeah, that's,
And there wasn't that square thing, table that talked about slope.
no, not about, so this is our tree clearing grading, it's no's. It's just about, the percentage of site clearing that you can do based upon square footage of the lot.
The-
What
the-
am
So the
I?
bigger the
The-
lot, the smaller, the less you can do.
We're talking about slope, but it might be under, well, that, you're looking under tree clearing? 'Cause I
Yeah.
think it was
Tree
under
clearing
tree
and,
clearing.
it was trees grading and land clearing
Yeah.
is the,
But Laura, a lot of times they talk about it for a long time and never implement it.
Okay.
Because I remember that too.
Well,
I've seen in other townships where there is
We're
something
33,000
based on
square
slope.
feet of site, so what does that come out to
Nothing
percentage?
Smith Township, but,
Okay.
but like Barbara says, a lot of times,
Just a small reminder, the mic is here.
Sorry.
To keep it out of the way of any paperwork.
60% for this lot. It's a lot of clearing.
yeah,
But yeah, so yeah, you're right, some municipalities have critical slopes, so
Right.
they have critical slope waivers too, or
Yeah.
steep slopes.
This
but
is,
I-
I
I mean,
looked,
if he clears 60% a day, clears 60% of this, that's gonna be really, really bad.
Unless he's doing retaining walls all the way down.
well, he's gotta provide an erosion control
Well,
plan
yeah,
that
but-
will allow
he
for
he
all
will,
those things.
and a revegetation.
He's
yeah.
putting his house here, he doesn't want it to
Yeah,
come down.
that's true.
Right.
I
Yeah.
it just seems so,
Well, it's an ugly lot, there's no question
Yeah.
about
About
it.
it,
but
yeah.
It's challenging.
Yeah,
And
that's,
He's gotta come up
better
with,
term.
I call it ground stabilization,
Mhm.
because obviously that's what you don't want to have happen is erosion or,
Right.
in a rain event. As we know, cleared land is like the worst thing for
Mhm.
steep slope slides and rain. I mean, we saw what happened in Liberty.
yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
Overton Avenue? Is that it?
Overton's over there,
okay.
yes.
So
Oh,
these are
Overton's
all
like
of the.
this.
The
They haven't
retaining
touched
wall.
the
Yeah.
road.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
right, I know what
Didn't
you're
we
talking about.
look at, cause it was in that
Well, you saw the
area,
house
and we
in
looked at the
Belterra,
percentage
that,
of clearance
Bruce
and the,
Messenger building when you can see from the
percentages,
harbor.
it was
Yeah,
calculated
but
for
didn't
us.
they like way over clear?
The guy who lived
No,
on
they didn't, they were fine.
Sheep
There was
Pasture
a big lot
had
that actually
cleared his-
stretches
or
like
maybe it was
this.
off
They didn't
Reeve
go clear on it. There
and
was,
was
but
doing
there had been
work.
a lot of erosion already.
and it
kids
was
running
based
up
on,
there
he had that
playing
wicket,
and, like,
that
clearing trees
whole
there.
area
The
slopes
retaining
down,
walls,
it's like
they
an
had to
old
put in, they
quarry.
spent 6
The,
months
the,
just
the
stabilizing.
village actually
Wow.
truncated the
That's
road because it was
kinda
so
like this.
steep.
Right,
And my former neighbor was the only one
I
who
would
would
never want to
plow
live
it
that place.
because it was so steep.
oh, okay.
And what he would do is get on the bottom on Reeves and
Okay,
drive
so-
backwards.
So,
Obviously,
again, I'm
I'm
gonna issue a
not-
memo on this,
you
this
know,
again will
but he
be,
said, that's it, we're,
Yeah.
we're off.
They'll need.
limits of clearing,
Mm-hmm,
revegetation plan,
okay,
and erosion control.
okay. I know we talked about, it was on Overton, I think. Was it dead end street? I think Virginia Capon lives in the area.
Yeah.
She came down to
She
comment
lives
on
on
it.
Overton.
She came down and commented.
Yeah.
That's
Erosion
maybe
control.
why it's stuck in my head.
Revegetation
Right,
and limits of clearing.
okay, and
Yeah.
then do we need any kind of, drainage?
I'm gonna make recommendations that they should, because this all
Well, I
comes
mean,
down.
it would probably be a good idea to have a, you know,
Oh,
what,
this one, yeah, okay.
especially if they're gonna put a pool
I
in.
remember when it used to be open.
Yeah.
Might as well
Drive
just
your car down
attack it
there.
I
now,
drove
where are
it
they gonna,
a
couple
you
I
know,
of
mean,
times.
drain
they have
You know,
some,
you drive it,
we call them,
and
Right.
all of a
these are
sudden,
storage,
it's like, well, you
these are
can't
the
back
gutters
up
to the
now.
house.
Right.
Yeah.
But
you
they
gotta
should
go.
have,
You
Yep.
gotta go.
you know, there are
No.
percentages
I'm
of
thinking-
regulation on how to
No,
stabilize
it's-
ground.
At some
That's
point, we
what
Yeah.
talked about,
So you don't have to design it 100%.
I don't remember if I was on ZBA or
Yeah.
here, but there was,
Mhm.
I had a friend that lived there.
Uh-huh.
This guy's land washed out, and these guys somewhere over here were doing some work.
Mhm.
And there was, again, the critical steep slopes.
This go always
Yeah,
cracks
I
me
know.
up.
Mm.
This slope
Runs
coming
in.
down here, this
But yeah,
just
this was
gotta
a
come right
joyride.
off.
Yeah.
They got the trench
Yeah.
drains,
Yeah.
not much more you can do.
And then we can't ask, well, because we have talked to other neighbors, you know, other residents have to provide all the drainage for their,
They're providing, they're gonna have it when they do all the hardscape.
all that.
Yep, yeah, they got,
Okay.
they got one,
Okay.
2, 3, I don't know what these are 3-tiered, they're pretty big.
Okay.
Pouring down.
Was that dry
Okay, so
wells?
they did it.
Correct.
So they did do it.
Stone pool, well, they did it for the,
Drainage.
for the proposed hardscape that they're putting in here.
Okay.
They didn't address any of the potential that may come down here from the landscape. I make a recommendation to do it, there is
Yeah.
no code requirement for it, but
Yeah,
it's up to
I
them.
don't, yeah.
Mm.
So we're gonna look into the slope and,
I don't think it's in there.
No?
I guess not.
No.
We just went through the whole
But-
tree and grading.
oh, yeah?
But in this, but at least with this site, if you somehow damage the slope, it's only gonna affect his site,
Mm-hmm.
as long as it's going the
Well-
other way, or, but
Well-
it,
I think
meaning
we
it
have-
will at
I
least
think we have
affect his site.
seen what happens when water
Yeah.
goes, I mean, we have firsthand knowledge of what happens when, not just him. And that's what I was talking about with the other gentleman on the house on Pine Lawn, Pinewood.
Hill.
Pine Hill.
You know, yeah, it'll affect him, but then
It
if
goes-
it'll go down and wash out.
Yeah, and he's
the-
aware of that.
The
like-
next
Yeah.
guy, yeah.
You know, and I always like them, and I'm gonna make a recommendation for them to show the slope beyond the wall. And when he's
Yeah.
taking the sections, because right now they're showing like this, it's like this.
Yep.
Oh,
I always like to see that.
And it's two different, or at least it used to be two different calculations when you were designing those type of walls, whether you were going on a slope or a flat slope.
Correct.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
so that
It's
would
called
be
static
important.
look, yeah, static
Right,
look, yeah.
yep.
Well, you know, yeah.
Right. I don't remember it, but I know it.
There's two types of static load. You can
Right.
get this one from the wall below, but they have them pretty much separated out
Oh.
Yeah,
enough, but the other one is from
Right.
that. And when we were doing the Northport Hotel, for example, there was a lot that they had to go back.
oh,
They
the whole
ended
back
up-
of it was a
They,
huge slope.
they did tremendous amount of shoring and bulkheading down, and they drilled into the neighboring properties about 75 feet and pinned everything in.
right,
So that, because that static load on that was tremendous.
right, I can imagine.
Is that the new hotel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I will put
They
that
have
memo
to-
together.
Amendment together.
They have to have, residential structures shall have drainage paths. Drainage paths are required to guide floodwaters around and away from proposed structures on slopes.
What section are you there?
145-18. It doesn't apply, it's not us, it would be building, but however they're gonna redo it. I just Googled, I went into our code and I just typed in slope.
Yeah, I did
To
a
see where it
steep slope
pops
look.
up.
Yeah, and I didn't see
Oh,
anything in there.
yeah, that's,
You know,
And you found something.
Flood damage
For
prevention.
residential structures, 145-18.
Well, it's
and that's why these walls
Makes
are being
sense,
put
right.
in, but yeah.
basically what it's saying is when the water comes
Divert it
down
away.
to.
Yeah, they wanna divert
around.
it.
Divert it around.
Yeah.
So you build a swale or you know, grade
But
it.
is that what, so if that's the case, where is that water gonna end up? I don't know.
We can certainly ask them to provide locations of swales
yeah.
and diversion of water away from any
Mhm.
structures being built.
I mean, we'd had quite the discussion with the family on Winston that did that big wall repair. Remember, a lady came out from the city, she just bought the
Yeah.
house, and all of a sudden she's doing $200,000-300,000 worth of wall replacement.
And she had to put in the dry well at the bottom of the
Right,
driveway, yeah.
Right,
I'm looking upside down, but what were the stairs for?
It's to get up to this part of the property.
Oh, just to get up and walk up.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a retaining wall coming in here.
Mhm. Yeah,
And again, this,
Stairway to heaven.
I mean, he had his engineer do it, but this is pretty steep coming into this driveway here.
Yeah, the whole,
I mean, when you see these lines this close together.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, these are no bargain up here.
It's, what did we say, it was 100 to 40, 110 to 40.
Yeesh. Okay. All right, so you put that together, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Okay.
the last thing is St. Charles, the amending the bond amount.
So we've spoken about this at the last, back in July,
Mhm.
Ron Weingartner of
Right.
Catholic Health, he came in to speak and he was seeking to have the bond reduced
Mhm.
from 4.8 million down to something that will make it a little more manageable so they can do the work. After looking into it, you may remember I sent an email out where I looked at the code and tried to reinterpret a little bit, where it doesn't say, I juxtaposed it with some other sections where it says you don't have to have a bond for all site improvements, but it's just for site improvements. So to me, by looking at that against some of the other sections, like 250C5, it said it really should only be done for site improvements that could have a negative effect on other properties if left unfinished, detrimental to other
Yeah,
properties or
Gil's
the
very
public.
concerned with this.
Hmm?
Gil's very concerned with this since he lives down the road. He doesn't want any water on his
it'll
property.
all go down Thompson.
Sure, right.
Which it has already.
Yeah,
years ago.
that's where it went last
Yeah.
time.
To be honest, they're not doing they are doing some regrading,
Mhm.
but they are
Right.
providing, again, all that drainage within there. We
Right.
reviewed all this.
Yeah.
But it's
No,
a
we
lot
were-
better than having that big wall that was up
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Now
Oh,
we
yeah,
put
they
a
did
more
it,
back
they
on.
did a very nice job
Yeah,
on that.
yeah.
So I've got a resolution here stating
Mhm.
that the bond will be reduced to $1.348 million based upon on-site improvements necessitating the bond. And I also put in language I've spoken about before, which you didn't have in the one sent to you, I added it this evening. I don't know if you have it there, but it's be it further resolved at the
Mhm.
bottom, and that's for reduction of the bond as the job goes
That's
forward,
fine.
which is something we wanna start
Yep.
doing going forward for everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all that, I'm just asking for a vote on that resolution,
Yep.
so they can get started on it.
Motion,
A second.
yes, what he said.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
It's very lackadaisical.
that was
It's
quick.
that time
That was
of
like,
day,
Thanks,
isn't
Ed.
it?
less than a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You should all be like that. Okay,
okay.
thanks for the package.
Yeah,
We're all done, right?
Yep.
Motion to